Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. We are pleased to be joined by Dylan Murry, who drives the number 91 LMP3 car, of course, with Jim Cox in the for Riley Motorsports. How's it going, man?
It's going good. It's going really well. We just had our races at Watkins, so I'm ready to get back in the car and do our test days next weekend.
Yeah. So of course, it's trying to. This season's been interesting. Of course, this is a brand new class. Of course, we've known about LMP2. This is the LMP3 class. Of course, as the LMP classes kind of come into this sport and stuff, and you got a pretty good opportunity with Riley Motorsports, which has been doing pretty well this year, at least on the 74 side. I know you guys haven't won yet, but overall, how do you think your year is going?
It's going really well. This is my first year in the Weathertech series in IMSA. So it's my first time doing the Rolex 24-hour, first time doing the 12 hours of Sebring. So it's opening up a whole new world for me. And like you said, we haven't had a win quite yet, but we've just been so close every single time. I feel it coming. We've got more races left this season, so there's definitely time for us to be able to pull off a win. But yeah, it's my first year in the top series, and doing that type of multi-class racing it's so different than what I'm used to. I thought when I was doing GS last year, racing against the TCRs in the Michelin Pilot Challenge, I thought, that's multi-class racing, so I'll be fine going into the WeatherTech series. But then now the DPIs are so much faster, and we're so much faster than the GTDs, that it is a completely different world, and it's so much different than what I thought it would be. And so just trying to get used to the speed of all the DPIs and the GTDs together, that's something that took me at least a race or two to get used to, getting used to that multi-class traffic. But no, it's a great year so far.
Yeah, nothing like multi-class racing. That's what I love about IMSA. But, kind of going into this season, I know that, sports car racing is kind of, it's like, I don't think it gets the appreciation that it should. But why did you decide I want to go race like sports cars?
I never really, it's funny. It's like, I never really did say, I want to go race sports cars, or I want to go race NASCAR or IndyCar, F1. I love racing, and I wanted to race for a living. In whatever way I can do that is how I want to do it. And, my career kind of brought me up through the NASCAR ranks for a little bit. I had some sponsors to do a couple of the NASCAR K&N races and the late models and that sort of world. But then all this opportunity in the sports car just kind of came up, and it was just like I was focusing this way, and then it came up and tapped me on the shoulder the other way and said, hey, why don't you come over and do this? But now that I've been exposed to this world, I absolutely love it. I mean, these cars are insanely fast. And like you said, I don't think that sports car racing gets the appreciation that it really needs, because I mean, these cars are so fast. The drivers are all top caliber drivers. The teams, the effort, the amount of budget that goes into it, everything about it's so world class. That I mean, it's a one of a kind series. And when you add the endurance racing on top of it, when you do 24-hour races and 12-hour races, like that's what I really love. Is I love waking up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. to go drive a race car at Daytona or Le Mans or wherever it be at that time. That's just what I love about that. And I think it also brings an experience to the fans to where they can stay. And like, it's a whole different experience going to a 24-hour race as it is to, a 2-hour race or 3-hour race. So it's just completely different type of fan base too, that allows you to just extend your time of having fun.
Oh yeah, big time. So I know that the rest of the season I know you're not going to compete in every race because, the LMP classes there are some races where you guys don't compete. Like this week, the DPI class isn't competing. It's just the GT cars. And there's some races that the GT cars don't even compete in. So of course, the next race for you is Road America.
Yeah.
So I know you've got a few more races left in this season. I know a win would be awesome. But what's it going to be like heading to Road America in a few weeks?
Yeah, so we're going to test there in 2 weeks, actually next weekend. And so this is going to be my first time in a prototype at Road America. And first of all, Road America that's like one of my favorite tracks. I mean, I love going there. The whole experience going there too is great, but the actual track layout is very close to perfect. I related a lot to Circuit de Spa in Belgium. It's got those really fast flowing corners and long straights, and so to be able to go there in a prototype now, I mean, I would think that the kink would be flat out in that car, or if not very close. And so it's going to be a really cool experience to drive it, but then to race there. We've always had pretty good success at Road America, so we've always been fast. So I'm looking forward to going there in the top series now. And so we got Road America and Petit Le Mans are 2 races left, and really looking forward to those.
Of course, Petit Le Mans always a good race to close out the IMSA season. So basically, I know you don't race that often, but what do you do? Like, this always interests me about IMSA guys, because the season's so short. But it's like, I was talking to Tristan Nunez last week, but you're always doing something. It's either you're testing, and all. So kind of explain when you're not racing, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's probably one like my most frequently asked questions is, what do you do when you're not racing? And there's so much stuff that goes in it behind the scenes. Like in June, for example, I was home 53 hours in the entire month of June. Every other time I was out traveling somewhere doing different things. So I've got the IMSA things. I do a lot of coaching for other people as well, in SRO and PCA and in different series, different smaller series like that. So I do coaching, lots of test days. We do a lot of testing. And then when I am home, the work still never really ends. It's, a lot of training, a lot of just making sure that everything, like trying to chase sponsors or find a ride for next year or find a ride for next race or something. So the work just never really ends when you get back home. I'm able to kind of do a couple things, like have a little bit of free time at home, but most of the time, and it's getting caught up on laundry and stuff too. When you're doing all this stuff, you get home, you're home for a day, you do laundry the entire day, and then you fly out the next day. So yeah, it's constant nonstop traveling. This year is going to be my first year having over 200 travel days in 1 year. So it's going to be a busy year, and I hope next year continues to be the same.
A lot of frequent flyer miles and a lot of masks to go through too.
Oh yeah.
So, and I know 2 races in the season, really 2 unique tracks. I know Road America has been, a mainstay for a lot of racing series. Of course, IndyCar was there. NASCAR was there a few weeks ago. I know the IMSA cars get their turn, I think, first week of August. But how excited is it to go there? Because, anytime that IMSA goes to Road America, they're always going to see a show like what we saw last year.
Yeah, Road America, it's one of those tracks. Like I said before, I related to Spa because it's got those long straights, and it's a really great racing track. It's also, you would think with long straights that it would be pretty easy to pass on, but it's fairly difficult to pass, especially in like a prototype, because in the prototypes and Formula cars too, they have so much downforce that when you get behind another car, all that dirty air just takes away every bit of downforce that you have. And all these corners at Road America are fast corners leading on the fast straights. So you have the draft on the straight to catch up on towards the end of the straight, but you're so far behind by the time you exit the corner because you can't run your normal line. And if you do, you can't be very close to them. So you have to kind of wait for them to make a mistake to try to go around them. And a good passing spot's like turn 1 maybe, but they always block to the inside. And it creates an exciting race, right? Because you have such differences in speed in the corner and the straights. The guy in front's going to be a lot faster in the corners, but then going down the straights, they're going to be a lot slower because you're going to have the draft catching up. And pretty much every pass is going to have to be a late out-braking pass. I mean, there's really no compromised corners that you can kind of pass somebody coming out of the corner. It's all just such fast corners leading on such fast straights that it adds a whole new art to passing.
Of course. It's definitely going to be fun to see. Definitely going to be fun to see IMSA go out to Road America in next week. Of course, we got Lime Rock this week to worry about for the GT cars, but excited to see all the classes out there. Road America first week of August. But anyway, Dylan, thank you so much for going on, man, and good luck at Road America and Petit Le Mans. And let's have you on again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it very much.